After 60, stop eating these meats immediately and replace them with these 4 superfoods. Yes, you heard that right. Some of the meats you've been eating your whole life, meats that feel like comfort, tradition, or even healthy, might actually be working against you now. Especially if you're over 60. But wait a minute. Isn't meat supposed to be a good source of protein? Haven't we been told that lean chicken breast is the gold standard for healthy eating? That's exactly what we're diving into today. Because here's the hard truth. After 60, your body doesn't play by the same rules. What fueled you in your 30s and 40s might now be draining your energy, fogging your brain, and stressing your heart. But before we go any deeper, let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like your joints are stiffer than they should be? Or your memory isn't quite as sharp, even though your blood work looks fine? Have you ever wondered if it could be what's on your dinner plate? In today's video, we'll uncover the 4 most harmful meats that seniors should stop eating immediately, and the 4 powerful superfood meats that actually help rebuild your health, one bite at a time. And here's the twist. These aren't obscure or hard-to-find ingredients. You might already have them in your fridge, but no one told you they were the key to stronger bones, clearer thinking, and a younger heart. If you're ready to feel better, think sharper, and live stronger, without complicated diets, this video is for you. Before we jump into the science and stories, do us a small favor. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to our channel Senior Health so we can keep bringing you life-changing tips, backed by real evidence. And one last thing, stay until the end. The last meat on the list might shock you. It's something almost every senior thinks is healthy, but it's doing more harm than good. All right, let's get into it. The 4 worst meats for seniors. Let's be honest, many of us over 60 grew up in a world where meat meant strength, comfort, and a good meal. A sausage at breakfast, a ham sandwich for lunch, maybe some fried chicken for dinner. Familiar, easy, but here's the thing, our bodies change, and some of the meats we've relied on for decades are quietly doing more harm than good. 4. Conventional pork sausage. A hidden threat in every bite. It's hard to beat the aroma of pork sausage in the morning. But what most people don't realize is that conventional sausage is a chemical cocktail. It's packed with preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, which, when heated or digested, turn into nitrosamines, compounds directly linked to colon cancer and kidney damage. The danger is even greater for seniors, whose detox systems are slower and more sensitive. A 2022 study in BMC Medicine tracked 18,000 seniors for nearly a decade. Those who ate processed pork sausage just twice a week had a 22% higher risk of colon cancer and a 16% rise in kidney issues. And that's not even counting the sky-high sodium and saturated fat levels that push blood pressure and LDL cholesterol through the roof. I once treated a patient named Mr. Lair, 67 years old, who ate sausage daily. Over time, his labs showed early kidney strain, high blood pressure, and borderline cholesterol. We removed processed meats from his diet, and within 6 months, his kidney function began to recover. If sausage is your morning ritual, it's time to swap it for a cleaner option. Try making turkey or chicken sausage at home with garlic, rosemary, and sage. You'll still get the flavor without the fallout. 3. Deli ham and cold cuts, silent destroyers of heart and brain. Deli meats like ham, salami, and turkey slices might feel like a convenient lunch option, but they are some of the most deceptively harmful choices for older adults. These cold cuts are filled with sodium nitrite, which, like in sausage, turns into nitrosamines inside your body. But that's just the start. Most deli meats contain hidden sugars, phosphates, and artificial flavorings that can spike blood pressure, strain kidneys, and drive chronic inflammation, the silent force behind so many age-related illnesses. In 2020, the International Journal of Epidemiology published a study showing that seniors who ate deli meats 4 or more times per week had a 24% greater risk of heart failure and a 19% higher risk of dying from any cause. I'll never forget one of my patients, Ms. Y1EBFN, 72, who came in complaining about swollen legs and worsening memory. She thought it was normal aging, but blood work told a different story. Excess sodium and phosphate from her daily ham sandwiches were part of the problem. Once we replaced those with roasted chicken and anti-inflammatory foods, her swelling disappeared in just 3 weeks. If you're still reaching for packaged meats, try cooking a fresh turkey breast on the weekend, slice it thin, and keep it ready for the week. Flavor it naturally with lemon, garlic, or herbs, and your heart and brain will thank you. 2. Deep-fried chicken, a crunchy shortcut to chronic disease. Few things are as tempting as a crispy piece of fried chicken. It's a comfort food classic. But for seniors, it's a fast-track ticket to inflammation and disease. Fried chicken is typically soaked in cheap oils like soybean or corn oil, then cooked at high temperatures, which creates harmful compounds like trans fats, AGEs, advanced glycation in products, and acrylamides. These are toxins that damage arteries, stiffen joints, and fuel heart disease, diabetes, and even dementia. A study in the BMJ followed over 100,000 women for 2 decades. Just one serving of fried chicken per week raised their risk of death by 13%, and heart-related death by 12%, numbers that worsened after 60. Add in the refined flour, oxidized fats, and lack of real nutrients, and you've got a recipe for vascular aging and metabolic burnout. One of my patients, Mr. PH1EA1M, 66, ate fast food fried chicken 3 times a week. He developed gout and prediabetes within 2 years. Once we switched him to oven-baked chicken thighs seasoned with olive oil and spices, his uric acid dropped, and his energy returned within months. Fried foods don't just add calories, they add years to your biological age. If you're craving that crunch, invest in an air fryer. Use turmeric, garlic, and paprika for flavor, and you'll get the taste without the toll. 1. Skinless factory-farmed chicken breast. The deceptive danger. Now here's the shocker. Skinless chicken breast, the poster child for healthy eating, isn't always your friend after 60. Especially when it's factory-farmed and eaten in repetition. These chickens are often raised on GMO feed and antibiotics, sometimes even arsenic-based compounds. And while the breast is low in fat, that's exactly the problem for older adults. Without healthy fats, your body struggles to absorb critical fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, nutrients essential for immunity, bone health, and brain function. Skinless breast also lacks collagen, iron, and B12. In fact, a 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who ate skinless chicken breast more than 5 times a week had a 16% higher rate of muscle loss and elevated inflammation markers, without any benefit to cholesterol. I've had countless patients who eat clean and yet show signs of fatigue, dry skin, and thinning hair. When we switch them to pasture-raised chicken thighs with skin and more diverse proteins, their energy improves dramatically. Clean eating isn't just about avoiding fat, it's about eating complete nutrition. Don't be afraid of moderate fat. Your body needs it. At the end of the day, the danger isn't meat. It's the kind of meat, the quality, and how it's prepared. Pork sausage, deli cold cuts, fried chicken, and overused skinless chicken breast are familiar and easy. But they slowly rob your body of its strength, clarity, and independence. If you're over 60, your body needs more support, not more stress. The good news? These changes are within your control. Start today and you can literally reverse the clock from the inside out. Now tell me, have any of these meats been staples in your routine? Were you surprised by any of the risks? Drop a comment below. I read every one of them. Let's talk about your story. The 4 best meats to rebuild health after 60. When it comes to healthy aging, most seniors are told what not to eat, but very few are given real answers about what to eat instead. The truth is there are meats that don't just fill you up. They actually help reverse damage from the inside out. The right meats can build muscle, sharpen your memory, support your heart, and ease inflammation. After 60, that's exactly what your body needs. Let's take a closer look at 4 of the best meats you can add to your diet today. 4. Grass-fed lamb, a rare treat that fights inflammation. Lamb isn't something most people eat regularly, but if it's grass-fed, it deserves a spot on your plate. Unlike most red meat, grass-fed lamb is naturally high in omega-3 fatty acids, the same heart-healthy fats found in fish. It's also rich in heme iron, zinc, and B12, 3 nutrients that help maintain energy, brain clarity, and a strong immune system. One study in nutrients showed that seniors who ate grass-fed lamb twice a week had stronger muscles and significantly lower inflammation. I've personally seen this in my own patients. A woman named Linda, 74, came in tired and pale, recovering slowly from small cuts and bruises. Her blood work showed borderline anemia. We added slow-cooked lamb shoulder to her routine just twice a week. 2 months later, she was walking more, healing faster, and smiling again. If you cook lamb right, roasted or braised with garlic and herbs, you'll get all the benefits without the grease. Trim it after cooking, not before, and let the nutrients do their job. 3. Free-range duck, brain food with heart benefits. Duck isn't as common as chicken or turkey, but it really should be, especially for people who want to protect their brain and improve circulation. Duck meat is loaded with iron, B vitamins, and omega-3 fats, and its fat is mostly monounsaturated, the same kind found in olive oil. In 2019, a study showed seniors who added duck to their diets twice a week improved their memory by nearly 20%. I had a patient, Mr. Clark, a retired teacher who complained of losing words and feeling foggy. After incorporating duck into his diet along with leafy greens, his memory scores went up and his afternoon naps disappeared. The key is choosing pasture-raised or free-range duck, roasting it slowly, and enjoying the skin in moderation. It actually contains vitamins A and E, which support your immune system and skin health. Try pairing duck with tart fruits like cherries or oranges to help absorb the iron better. Duck is more than flavorful, it's functional. 2. Sardines with bones and skin. Small fish, big protection. Don't let their size fool you. Sardines are nutritional giants. They contain complete protein, calcium, vitamin D, omega-3s, and almost no mercury. A 2022 study showed that seniors who ate sardines twice a week saw a major improvement in bone density and heart health. I often recommend them for people with osteoporosis, high blood pressure, or brain fog. One of my patients, Ms. NG letter 1 ECDC, 69, had stiff joints and rising blood sugar. After adding sardines to her lunch twice a week, her inflammation dropped, and she started walking without discomfort again. The trick is to buy sardines with bones and skin, preferably packed in olive oil, and serve them with fresh herbs or a squeeze of lemon. If you've never tried sardines or had a bad experience, give them another shot. They might just become your new superfood. 1. Grass-fed beef liver, the ultimate longevity meat. Liver is the most powerful meat you're probably not eating. Grass-fed beef liver is packed with bioavailable vitamin A, B12, iron, zinc, and even coenzyme Q10. Nutrients your body uses to build blood, sharpen memory, and boost cellular energy. A 2023 clinical trial found that seniors who ate beef liver twice a week saw massive improvements in memory, energy, and iron levels. I had a patient named George, 71, with chronic fatigue and brain fog. We added a few tablespoons of liver pâté to his meals each week, and within 4 weeks, he felt sharper and more energized than he had in years. Liver isn't for everyone at first. It has a strong flavor, but soaking it in milk or lemon water helps, and sautéing with onions makes it more approachable. Mix small amounts into ground meat or stew if you're not used to it. Just make sure it's grass-fed. Conventional liver may contain unwanted residues. These 4 meats, grass-fed lamb, free-range duck, sardines, and grass-fed beef liver, can do wonders for your body after 60. They don't just nourish you, they help you recover, stay strong, and age with vitality. If you've tried any of them, share your experience in the comments. If not, which one are you most curious to try? Aging doesn't mean decline. With the right choices, it can mean strength, clarity, and years of feeling like yourself again. Real-life stories and personal examples. For many people over 60, the real breakthroughs in health don't come from reading lab results or hearing statistics. They come from lived experience, real stories of ordinary people making small but powerful changes. Take Mr. Peter, for example. At 66, retired and living in California, he'd spent a lifetime enjoying big family meals. Fried chicken, crispy sausage, and deli sandwiches were a Sunday tradition. It wasn't until he was diagnosed with high blood pressure, prediabetes, and early signs of heart failure that he realized something had to give. He came to us exhausted, frustrated, and unsure if food could really make a difference. We started by removing fried and processed meats from his diet. In their place, he began eating baked duck thighs, sardines twice a week, and a hearty lamb stew with turmeric and garlic. 8 weeks later, his blood pressure dropped by 15 points, his cholesterol normalized, and he told me, "I feel 10 years younger." It wasn't a miracle, it was real food done right. Then there was Mrs. Eleanor, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Florida. On paper, she was doing everything right. She avoided sweets, exercised daily, and never smoked. But she still felt off, bloated legs, brain fog, and occasional heart palpitations. The problem? Her daily lunch, a ham and cheese sandwich. It seemed innocent, but it was loaded with sodium and preservatives that were silently stressing her heart and kidneys. Her lab results confirmed it. High sodium, low iron, and inflammation markers through the roof. We made a few key swaps. Turkey breast she roasted herself, 1 serving of beef liver pâté per week, and more leafy greens with citrus fruits. In just 3 weeks, the swelling vanished, and she called to say, "My mind feels clear again." Sometimes it's not sugar or fat that sets us back, it's the stuff we think is harmless. One story that sticks with me is Brian, 68, a former marathon runner from New York. He was proud of his clean eating, grilled chicken breast every day, no red meat, no processed food. But he couldn't shake his constant fatigue, joint pain, and belly weight. His blood work revealed low omega-3s, vitamin D deficiency, and poor zinc levels. Despite his discipline, he was missing critical nutrients. We introduced small servings of duck, sardines, beef liver, and yes, chicken thighs with the skin left on. After 4 months, his joints loosened up, his energy improved, and he even said his skin looked healthier. He'd been doing everything by the book, but it turns out the book needed an update for his age. In every one of these cases, the transformation wasn't about cutting more, it was about choosing better. These weren't crash diets or drastic overhauls. They were intentional swaps, replacing inflammatory, low-nutrient meats with ones that truly nourish. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. After 60, food is no longer just fuel, it's your most powerful form of medicine. Every meal is a message to your body: break down or rebuild. And the good news is it's never too late to send a better message. Scientific commentary: what aging bodies need from meat. As we get older, our bodies go through deeper changes than just gray hair and slower steps. On a molecular level, things start shifting. Hormones decline, cell repair slows down, and nutrient absorption becomes less efficient. That means the way we eat has to change too. The same meat that served us well in our 30s might not cut it anymore in our 60s. And when it comes to meat, quality and nutritional density matter more than ever. Let's start with the brain. Since it's made mostly of fat, maintaining brain health after 60 depends heavily on getting the right fats, not just cutting calories. As we age, we lose efficiency in repairing brain cells and producing neurotransmitters. That's why issues like brain fog, memory problems, and low mood become more common. Nutrients like B12, DHA, and choline, found in beef liver, sardines, and duck, are essential to keeping the brain sharp. But processed meats and low-fat options like skinless chicken breast provide almost none of these. Worse, fried meats promote inflammation in the brain, which accelerates decline. Studies show seniors with higher intake of omega-3s and choline score better on memory tests and show less brain shrinkage over time. Muscle maintenance is another issue that becomes more difficult with age. Even if you're eating enough protein, your body has a harder time using it. That condition, anabolic resistance, leads to muscle loss, weakness, and slower recovery. Seniors need more complete proteins that contain all essential amino acids, especially leucine. Meats like grass-fed lamb, sardines, and liver offer these in a highly absorbable form, along with iron and zinc, which help rebuild cells. Research confirms that seniors who eat 20-30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal maintain more muscle, better balance, and faster walking speed compared to those who don't. When it comes to heart health, many older adults still fear fat, but the science has moved on. Healthy fats from duck, sardines, and liver contain heart-protective compounds like monounsaturated fats, omega-3s, and CoQ10. These help regulate cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and keep your heartbeat steady. On the flip side, trans fats from fried meats and preservatives in deli meats raise blood pressure and stiffen arteries. Seniors who eat 2 servings of oily fish per week see significant reductions in cardiovascular risk, according to large-scale studies. Bone strength isn't just about calcium either. You also need vitamin D, K2, magnesium, and collagen, all of which are found in animal-based sources like sardines, liver, and duck. Many seniors rely on skinless chicken breast thinking it's healthy, but it's nearly void of these essential bone-building nutrients. That's one reason fractures and osteoporosis still happen even when calcium intake looks fine on paper. And finally, there's the matter of detoxification and immune health. As our liver and kidneys age, they become less efficient at clearing out toxins. This makes us more vulnerable to the harmful compounds found in processed meats, like antibiotics, GMOs, and chemical preservatives. On the other hand, nutrient-rich meats like liver support detox through compounds like glutathione, zinc, and selenium. They also help strengthen the gut, which is where a large part of your immune system lives. Meanwhile, burnt or overcooked meats create carcinogenic byproducts that aging bodies struggle to handle. If I've learned anything from my own experience aging, it's this. The older we get, the more our food must be functional. It's not about restricting meat, it's about upgrading it. We need to stop fearing meat as a problem and start using it as a solution, but only if we choose wisely. The right meats nourish not just your stomach, but your brain, heart, bones, and immune system. After 60, meat shouldn't just fill you up, it should help rebuild you. How to transition, practical steps for changing your diet. Changing the way you eat after 60 isn't just about cutting things out, it's about rebuilding your habits with intention. Too often, we hear what not to eat, but rarely get the how. This part is the bridge between knowing better and doing better. And trust me, you don't need a nutritionist on speed dial or a private chef. You just need a willingness to try, a little curiosity, and a handful of good ingredients. Let's start with how we build our plates. Most of us grew up with a basic formula, meat and carbs. Maybe it was skinless chicken and white rice or a ham sandwich with a bag of chips. But at our age, that combo leaves our brains dull, our joints aching, and our blood sugar unstable. We have to flip that formula. Now the protein needs to be high quality, like grass-fed lamb, sardines, beef liver, or roasted duck. Pair that with vibrant vegetables, a drizzle of olive oil or avocado, and if needed, a small scoop of sweet potato or lentils for energy. When I started building my meals this way, I noticed fewer sugar crashes and more mental clarity. The trick is simple. If a food supports your brain, bones, or blood, it belongs on your plate. Next, we've got to shop differently. I'll admit walking into a supermarket can be overwhelming, especially with so many labels. But if you keep your eye out for a few key phrases, like grass-fed, pasture-raised, wild-caught, or no antibiotics, you're already ahead of the game. I now skip the deli section entirely and head to the frozen meat aisle or local butcher where I can find frozen liver, sardines in olive oil, and lamb stew cuts. It's amazing how much your health improves when your grocery list becomes your medicine cabinet. I even started batch cooking on Sundays, duck legs or a lamb curry, so that weekday meals take just minutes. And then there's cooking. For decades, I treated cooking like a chore. Now I see it as recovery time. Every garlic clove, every splash of turmeric, every handful of dark greens, it all works together to reduce inflammation and nourish cells. One of my go-to meals is lamb stew simmered with turmeric and ginger. It's comforting and deeply healing. Or a sardine salad with arugula, lemon, and avocado. It's light but powerful. I found that the more color and flavor I add, the more I enjoy the process and the benefits. Let's talk seasoning too, because many of us have relied on salt, sugar, or pre-mixed powders to make meals taste good. That won't cut it anymore. We need herbs and spices that heal as they flavor. Garlic helps regulate blood pressure. Rosemary reduces inflammation. Lemon boosts iron absorption. Even a bit of turmeric and black pepper in roasted veggies can ease joint pain. Your spice rack, believe it or not, might be more powerful than your medicine cabinet. But none of this works well if our digestion is off. Seniors often eat the right foods, but can't absorb them. Low stomach acid, constipation, and dehydration can block all those nutrients. That's why I start every meal with warm lemon water and include fermented foods like sauerkraut or kefir during the week. I've also learned not to drink cold water during meals. It slows down digestion. And just walking for 10 minutes after eating has made a big difference in how I feel. Now I know this all sounds like a lot, but it doesn't have to be. When I first started making changes, I did one thing a week. One week I swapped deli ham for roasted turkey. Another week I tried sardines on toast. The next I sautéed beef liver with onions. I wasn't perfect, but I was consistent. And that consistency built momentum. I felt it in my energy, my digestion, and even my sleep. So let me ask you this. What's one small change you could make this week? Could you swap that ham sandwich for a turkey and spinach wrap? Could you try a new recipe with sardines or roast some duck for the weekend? And more importantly, how do you feel after you eat your meals lately? Energized or exhausted? Clear-headed or foggy? Your answers might hold the key to your next step. I'll leave you with a thought that changed how I view food entirely. You're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. You already know how to cook. You've been feeding a family or yourself for decades. This isn't about starting over. It's about using that knowledge to cook for your future. Every smart bite you take now is a vote for energy, strength, and a longer, healthier life. FAQs from viewers and their personal meat experiences. One of the most common concerns I hear is, isn't red meat like lamb or liver bad for cholesterol? That belief is rooted in outdated research. When red meat is grass-fed and raised without hormones or antibiotics, it actually contains more omega-3s, less saturated fat, and beneficial nutrients like B12 and CLA. Multiple studies now show that these clean sources can improve HDL, lower triglycerides, and reduce inflammation. What harms your heart isn't a lamb chop. It's fried meats, cold cuts, and high-sodium processed foods. If you're pairing real meat with vegetables, you're helping your heart, not hurting it. Another question is, isn't liver gross? I get it. The idea of eating liver might sound off-putting at first. But most people who try it properly prepared are surprised by how good it can taste. Soaking liver in milk or lemon water helps mellow the flavor, and cooking it with garlic, onions, or herbs makes a huge difference. You can even blend it into stews or meatballs if you're still unsure. I've had patients who felt more energetic within a few weeks of adding just a small amount to their diet. Sometimes the foods that feel most unfamiliar bring the biggest benefits. Can I still eat chicken? Absolutely, but it matters how it's raised and prepared. Skinless, factory-farmed chicken breast lacks vital nutrients and often contains residues. Instead, go for pasture-raised thighs with the skin on, cooked in olive oil or broth. The skin provides collagen, vitamin K2, and healthy fats that support bone and joint health. Chicken isn't the problem, how we grow and cook it is. If you're thinking, I can't find grass-fed or pasture-raised meats near me, you're not alone. Fortunately, there are workarounds. Frozen sections often carry high-quality options at better prices, and local farmers markets or online services can help too. Even if the only option is conventional meat, you can trim the fat and cook it with detoxifying herbs like rosemary, turmeric, and cumin. You don't need perfect ingredients, just smarter habits. Some people ask, I've eaten deli meat for decades, isn't it too late to undo the damage? And the answer is, it's never too late. Your body replaces millions of cells every day. Within just a few weeks of cutting out harmful meats and choosing better ones, many people see improvements in blood pressure, digestion, energy, and mental clarity. I've seen it firsthand, people in their 70s turning things around with just a few swaps. Real people are doing it. Clarence, 71, from Illinois, said his arthritis improved after switching fried chicken for baked duck. Me, 68, from Oregon, fell in love with sardines and no longer misses tuna. Diego, 73, from Texas, started eating liver weekly and says he now sleeps deeper and feels sharper. Their stories aren't rare, they're a sign that change is possible at any age. So what's your biggest challenge when it comes to meat? Are you willing to try something new for your health? Share in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. So let's recap. You've just learned that not all meats are created equal, especially after 60. Some, like deli ham, fried chicken, and processed sausage, chip away at your health quietly and consistently, while others, like grass-fed lamb, sardines, duck, and liver, can help rebuild your joints, sharpen your mind, and reignite your energy. It's not about cutting meat out. It's about choosing meat that heals, not harms. Because after 60, every bite matters. Now let me ask you, did any of today's tips surprise you? Have you been eating one of those worst meats thinking it was healthy? Or maybe you've already tried some of the superfoods we mentioned and noticed a real difference. If so, we'd love to hear your story in the comments. Your experience could inspire someone else to take that first step. And remember, changing your health isn't about perfection. It's about consistency, curiosity, and compassion for yourself as you try new habits. Thank you for spending this time with us. If this video helped you in any way, please like it, share it with a friend or loved one, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Senior Health for more practical tips, inspiring stories, and real science, tailored just for you. You've got one body, let's treat it like it's worth the best. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and stay well. We'll see you in the next video.